What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse wrench, no hate. I want you guys to take a listen to something.
I think the meltdown comes when you create a sense of fighter. You give them everything you create, you bring them along. You try to avoid all the tough fights and stuff like that. And then when it boils down to the wire and things start going down, and you don't really know who to trust or believe or whatever. You've been listening to all this fake stuff, all coming up and stuff. You'll have a nothing breakdown. Maybe you try to avoid all the tough fights and stuff like that.
You can say a lot of things about AJ, and people have. He doesn't have any stamina. He doesn't have a chin. He's robotic. He doesn't have heart. But one thing you cannot say about him, and it's not even debatable, that he avoids tough fights. He has the best resume in the heavyweight division. But then again, Wilder also thinks Luis Ortiz is one of the top heavyweights in the world, regardless of what his age is. And the reason he said that is because he beat him twice. The only quality win he has on the resume, if you want to call it a quality win. AJ tried to get a fight with Wilder 2 or 3 times, and Wilder has admitted, listen up, Wilder fanboys, he has admitted to turning down those fights. It's incredible how Wilder fixed his mouth to say that. After 2 losses to Usyk, Wilder seems like he's still avoiding AJ. Who's really avoiding tough fights? He didn't expect Tyson Fury to be a tough fight because Tyson Fury was going through some things. It was a cherry pick going wrong. If AJ was avoiding tough fights, he could have vacated the WBO belt and give it to Usyk. But he took the challenge head on. Usyk is just a better fighter. Now let's talk about meltdowns for a minute. I don't want to take a lot of time on this, but AJ had his meltdown. But what about Deontay Wilder's meltdown? Deontay Wilder said his trainer poisoned him. Fury had an egg-shaped weight in the boxing gloves. The referee was shady. The cat suit I wore to the ring way too much. I mean, this guy came up with all kinds of excuses. He couldn't come to grips that he cannot beat Fury. So my opinion is Deontay Wilder is the last person to talk about meltdowns and avoiding tough fights. He was protected for most of his career. And like I said, the only reason he fought Fury is because they thought Fury was done. They want that name on their resume. So Wilder, how did that work out for you? Fury owned you mentally and physically. Leave your thoughts in comments below. JBZ, I'm gone.
All in your blood. Something the size and the shape of an egg weight. It's the reason why the side of my face swelled up in an egg weight form. And it left a dent in my face as well. You would have had to kill me.
You almost did.
It took a crab in a bucket referee and a disloyal trainer to throw the towel in just to stop me. Excuse me.
Shout out to JBZ. I just came across this video this morning, and the reason that I even decided to do what I'm doing now is because I just made 2 videos. Basically, it was the aftermath of the Anthony Joshua Usyk fight, 2, and then I made a follow up to that video to just say some things. And when you're creating content out of everything you say, that's why sometimes my videos are long-winded, because I try to get everything out, but it's always some things that you want to get out. And everything he just said, I touched on, but he pretty much put the cherry on top for certain things that I didn't really point out. So instead of me just saying it, I said, no, let people hear him saying it, because this is exactly some points too. Like I said, I touched on, but he said exactly, like what things that I wanted to actually add on to connect the points. But there's so much that you're doing. And as y'all know, I don't write notes down. I just freestyle it, So there's times you just like, damn, I didn't say this and this and this. Listen, this is one of the reasons why I don't respect Deontay Wilder as a fighter. I look at him and I'm like, this guy was the most protected heavyweight of this fucking era. Okay, Tyson Fury wasn't protected. Tyson Fury just chose to fight weak opponents for the most part, and then go into the pity party. Oh, I was going through some things and blah blah blah, and I was stressed out, and right. But he's always talking shit about somebody. So I always say, if you are a person that's been through things, you don't, humble yourself. But he talks too much shit. And that's why I don't respect him. Wilder, like I said, same thing that, this guy Jay Beasy said, you basically don't have no quality opponents. So let's say the best 3 names on your resume is Bermane Stiverne, only because you got the title from him. Not that he was a worthy champion, okay? Had 1 title defense and lost it to you. And look who he got it from, Chris Arreola. Vacancy. Fought for a vacant title, and they fought twice. He beat Arreola twice, but at the end of the day, Bermane Stiverne, Luis Ortiz, and Tyson Fury. Man, you can't even put Luis Ortiz and Bermane Stiverne in the same category with Tyson Fury. So even like JBZ said, if you want to consider Luis Ortiz a quality opponent, you fought him and beat him twice, and then start talking this boogeyman nonsense. Ain't nobody scared of no goddamn Luis Ortiz. You understand what I mean? Okay. But Deontay, like he said, you are the last person to talk about somebody protected, and said there's a resentment, there's a jealousy, there's a bitterness inside of the so-called righteous Deontay Wilder towards Anthony Joshua. And he still doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua. You build this guy up to be something he's not, and of course you're going to have a meltdown. That's one of the things I wanted to bring up in my video is, wait a minute. And I did touch on it. I did mention it, but yeah, you came up with the egg weight. Crab in the barrel as referee. You fired Mark Breland. He poisoned your water. We got all this dirt on Tyson Fury, and he did this and he did that, and all of this. And yet, AJ has a meltdown after the fight out of anger and frustration. And you have the nerve to try to point that shit out. And you a man that said that you basically got to the point, he was going through a depression with his situation with his daughter. So my point is, if you've been there, man, that's just frustration, that's aggravation. And everybody, the funny thing is making a big deal about it. But this man made all these weird-ass excuses. His costume was too heavy, all this bullshit. But yet, y'all praising the man the same way Usyk beat Joshua twice. Fury beat this motherfucker twice. 3 times, in my opinion. And Joshua wasn't knocked out. Oh, but he almost knocked him out in the 11th round. The first fight were almost and getting knocked out of 2 different things. And to be honest with you, when Wilder got stopped in the second fight, all those excuses that people came up when you'd had to kill me in there. Yeah, he almost did kill you. And in the third fight, same thing. You got beat up and got knocked out by a man that you said is pillow fisted. Okay, wait. That leads me to this video right here.
I would love to see you fight Usyk.
Yeah, me too. I'll fight them all. We'll see the future is bright. The king is back. Ain't no excitement going through unless I'm here. Tried to prove that many a times that we have. That's why I'm back by popular demand.
Wow.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So you heard Deontay Wilder say that he would like the Usyk fight. He's already said that he wants to now fight 3 times a year. But in order for all of that to come to fruition, he has to first get past Hellenius, which is not a guarantee win, especially when you're coming off of 2 knockout losses back-to-back. I've always told you guys since day one, when it comes to Deontay Wilder, he's not known for his skill.
Wait, did Dante just say you just coming off the 2 knockout losses back-to-back? You should never say he came off 2 back-to-back knockout losses unless, no, because you're admitting that he got knocked out. It was a TKO stoppage, right? It was a stoppage because Mark Green threw the towel in. But after all of this glove gate, after all of this, oh, this person said this and did that, and he did this and he cheated and all of this, right? If someone fouled me and cheated, I would never consider that being a loss. If I know in my heart, I know factually. See, that's the difference between knowing and assuming. Whole other thing when you make up excuses. And we just heard him say, Helenius, listen, Helenius is not an easy win. Question people, do y'all think Helenius would beat Anthony Joshua in a fight? So how the fuck is Anthony Joshua not a tough fight for Deontay Wilder? He'll knock him out, but fucking Helenius? Why? Because he beat Adam Kalnaki? I think Helenius is I like Helenius as a fighter because he comes to fight, but overall his skill, no, he's no fucking Anthony Joshua. You understand what I'm saying? Helenius is not amongst the elite fighters. He's not that guy. Now, I'm not knocking the fact that, so I guess that's who he's supposed to come back and fight. They're showing while Deontay's talking, he's showing, I guess this is the training video that he incorporated into that, because I was asked that I see Deontay's new training video and what do I think about it. I'm gonna try to find it. Here's like 2 minutes or some change, so I'll probably just pull it up and add it to this video to see, because I haven't seen it. If this is it, then I'm seeing it now. But if that's the case, I'll do it so you guys can see it too. But yeah, you heard what he just said. If you truly in your heart, whether you're Dante or whether you're Deontay, you would not even acknowledge that second fight as a win. You would not sit here and say, after coming off 2 knockout losses, he was getting his ass kicked in that second fight, regardless to Mark Breland stop it. That's why he stopped it. Y'all make it sound like he was tearing Tyson Fury's ass up, and all of a sudden Mark Breland threw the towel in. No, your man was getting destroyed. Okay? So, I guess that's his next fight. But that leads me to this point. How do getting knocked out, how does that even warrant an interest from people of, I would love to see Deontay versus Usyk without him proving himself? So after a knockout loss like that, one punch by Mr. Pillow-Fisted Fury, right? Okay, your last fight was a loss. Somehow you're fighting Usyk? No. He made that comment. Fury responded on Twitter. He tweeted telling him to get to the back of the line. Me and Usyk has business to handle. And this was before Tyson Fury made that video talking about $500 million and all that. So you knew, our common sense, the man didn't retire. But him saying that, it's like, damn, is this just arrogance or ignorance? You get knocked the fuck out. Now, he was answering the question. Okay, let me say that. But at the end of the day, man, you have to get past this guy, Helenius. I told you. This man may have the nerve to say Anthony Joshua is taking easy fights. He was basically manufactured and people built him to be something he wasn't. Then he sits here and says there's no excitement in the heavyweight division without him. So getting knocked the fuck out is your version of excitement. And now, of all people, you come back, you fighting a guy. Look, Helenius is in that Adam Kalnaki. What's the big African guy that just lost to Frank Sanchez? He's in that type of category. Helenius is not in the same category, with the very top guys. So I'm not saying Helenius is a bad pick, but I am saying I'm not shocked that of all the people that he would pick would be somebody on that CD level. He's not coming back against an A or a B class fighter. So when you're going to say ain't no excitement in the heavyweight division when I'm not there, I tried to show that and prove that. And I'll prove that by getting beat, because that's what you've done. And when you have won fights, again, Like I said, they're going to consider Luis Ortiz a step up from, the rest of the people you fought at that time. I'll agree with that. But as far as a Luis Ortiz being that guy, no. No. F.A. Jabba, that's the name I was thinking of. The guy I was trying to think of. That's where you put Helenius. What does people say about F.A.? He can punch, but man, he has a lot of work to do. Remember, F.A. was talking this shit about he could beat Anthony Joshua. He think he's one of the top guys now. Then Frank Sanchez showed him, no, you're not. Yeah, why not come back against the Frank Sanchez? People seem to want to knock him and say he's not that. He hasn't proven anything. I'll bet you Frank Sanchez. And I'm not the guy that says I guarantee, because you never know what may happen. Unless something goes wrong, Frank Sanchez box circles around Helenius. Unless something goes wrong, like he breaks his hand or have the worst night of his life, Helenius does not beat Frank Sanchez. Why not come back against a guy like that? Why, Frank wasn't available? You know what I'm saying? No. He's not going to come back against an A or B class fighter. He's going to come back against a C or D level fighter. And that's what he's doing. But his arrogance and his delusion is like, why when he talks, it's like, other than bringing boxing content, sometimes I don't even want to hear him talk because it's just the arrogance. Let's hear. This is the first time I'm hearing, this video. But because it's Deontay and he's speaking about Deontay, I expect some favoritism. And you just heard him admit he got coming off of 2 knockout losses.
It's his willpower. His willpower in that right hand, it makes up for his lack of skill in the ring. Before Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury, if you obviously were to compare Deontay Wilder to all the other active black champions, and not even just champions, but other black prospects and contenders from America in particular, there was no doubt Deontay Wilder was the least skilled fighter. But his heart and determination could match any of those fighters on that list.
His heart and determination can match any fighters on that list. He has, like Teddy Atlas like to call, the great equalizer in his right hand. Wait a minute. Let's just also bring up a point too. Luis Ortiz had him hurt and threw like 30 punches unanswered, and Deontay Wilder was all over that ring, right? The referee could have stopped that. He could have waved it off because nothing was coming back. Deontay Wilder fans said shit like, oh, but this was a championship fight, man. No, we've seen championship fights stop like that because the referee's job is not about caring about the excitement of the crowd. And the prestige of the title. It's this guy's getting rocked and he's not throwing back. And you know how they had a concern, and you know that they knew he was hurt. The start of the very next round, they gave him like 15, 20 extra seconds. They went over there to, check with him after the bell. Bing, round start, and they stopped to see if he's okay. Like, what? Now, you tell me if that was Anthony Joshua or any other rival of Deontay Wilder that they wouldn't pointed that out. It wouldn't have been an issue. So he could have waved that off, and it wouldn't have been no favoritism. It's, this dude rocked you, hurt you, and was throwing, and you was all over the ring, grabbing, holding on, staggering all over the place, and not throwing nothing back. Meldrick Taylor gets dropped against Chavez, right? He gets dropped. It's like 5 seconds left. Meldrick's looking at his corner. They talking to him, instructing him, just cover up, just move. They're both tired. Last round. By the time he says time and they start, the round is over. Richard still waves it off. Huge robbery. That was a huge robbery, right? What's the difference in that fight? Meldrick Taylor was winning that fight by far. All he has to do is make it to the final bell. If those judges would have got that damn fight wrong, it might have been a riot. Like, no. He definitely outboxed. He took a lot of punishment, but he definitely won that fight. There's no question. The judges was judging the fight with Ortiz. They had Deontay ahead on points. Like, what? Oh, he was ahead. How? Where? Right? But at the same time, regardless, he got rocked. And it was like a barrage of punches unanswered. He couldn't throw nothing. Staggering all over the ring. The referee could have stopped that. We've seen that happen before, but he didn't. if that would have been Anthony Joshua or another rival of Deontay, you don't think Wilder fans, including Deontay, would have been saying, oh man, look, they've been counting. Look, 10, 11, 12, 15, 18, 22. Look at 30 unanswered punches. You don't think that they would have made a case of that? So I'm just, now he's talking about his heart and determination of right hand. We already know what it is with him. But see, when you start talking, you got to understand, the way you praise a fighter and then if they get their ass whooped, then, oh shit. Well, same case he's making for Deontay Wilder, he says the exact opposite about Joe Joyce. So Joe Joyce is basically, oh, he's slow. Yes, he is. He has slow feet. Yes, he does. No footwork at all. Facts. He's not a big puncher, but he does throw in volume and he has weight behind his punch. True. But guess what? He has a great chin, heart, determination, constant pressure, and the will to keep going. They don't give Joe Joyce that same accolade. Do you see what I'm saying? But that's another guy. Now, we know Joe Joyce is about to fight Joseph Parker, so he wasn't available. But just think, none of those guys are on this guy's resume because he chose to fight his cherry pick that went wrong 3 times. Let's listen.
Second chapter of Deontay Wilder's career begins October 15th against Robert Helenius, and I truly believe ever since Tyson Fury cheated in that second fight, Deontay Wilder has never been the same, and he never will be the same. And this is the reason why boxers that usually get caught cheating are completely banned from the sport of boxing.
This is an excuse already. I told you guys, after the Glovegate excuses, I told you guys, when he fights Fury in that third fight, he lose that fight, the excuse is going to be, Wilder's not the same due to Fury cheating. Now, isn't it funny how he just said he came off with 2 knockout losses? Just to end up saying, because Fury cheated in that second fight, Deontay Wilder's not the same. So now, if he beats Helenius, this is going to be a milestone moment. Why? He came back after all that cheating and punishment, and he just, this guy he came back and beat a guy like Helenius. So now Helenius would be the new Luis Ortiz if he wins. Wait a minute. Didn't Deontay and all these other alphabet boys say before the third fight, Fury is trying to avoid this fight? He's scared because he know this time they're going to be on top of him. They're going to make sure he doesn't cheat, put anything in his gloves, take the padding out of his gloves, and he knows he can't beat Deontay Wilder straight up in a fair fight. Yeah, and then he went in there, and again, he managed to get 2 knockdowns because, like I said, Fury has his flaws and careless mistakes as well. And he was able to, drop him but not knock him out. But ain't it funny how all of a sudden these guys say exactly what you know they're going to say? So if he wins that fight, let's say when he dropped Fury just doesn't make it back up to beat the count. Oh, see, he didn't cheat this time. Nobody would be saying he's not the same fighter. You understand what I'm saying? See, he cheated, that's why. They will make the he's not the same fighter excuse because in case he loses the following fight, or try to make it look like even though he's not 100%, he still was able to beat Fury. No, the only way he's going to beat Fury is if he knock him out because he can't outbox Fury. Same way AJ can't outbox Usyk. Did you see Deontay find a different strategy to employ to win? No. And this is a man who said, when you beating these guys easy like that, it's like, you don't have to, train hard. And this is when he was talking about back to basics and all that. But you see what I'm saying to you? These guys switch up and say things. So he just went from saying he came off 2 knockout losses to Fury cheated, which is expected. But, wow, like I said, this is the first time I'm seeing this video.
Because it's very easy to destroy the person's career that you actually cheated against.
Oh, and let me say, that's bullshit. because they didn't ban Margarito. Suspensions and that's not banning people. When people look, for you to ban a fighter, okay, they suspended Jarrell Miller. But rumor has it that Jarrell Miller is supposed to be coming back, and it's been rumored. You keep hearing it. I've been hearing it for a while in part of 2022, and he was suspended, and he got caught doping, but he got caught doping. They didn't catch Fury doing anything. It was accusations. Margarito was caught. Okay, he was caught by Shane Mosley's trainer. And then Miguel Cotto was curious, and I remember him having like the rap thing, think he in the plastic bag. I remember them interviewing Miguel Cotto. It was a long time ago. So, but yeah, Margarito fought after that. You understand what I'm saying? They want Tyson Fury to be banned. And again, I am not putting it past Tyson Fury to cheat, but they didn't catch him. See, this is where you gotta. No, he wasn't caught doing anything. He was accused. So they're gonna ban Mark Breland for poisoning his water, like he claims? Are they going to ban the referee because the referee was in on the whole? Everybody was against him, trying to make him lose. They're going to ban him too. That's like accusations and proof are two different things. Okay, and again, like I said, a criminal can do things and hide the evidence and get no one requested. I need to see them gloves right now. That's definitely any not hug and embrace then and wait. And give a guy props for the better man won, even though he was still making excuses about your costume and all that. And then even the second fight and all that, third, whatever. Remember at the end of the fight, too, they talk about AJ's meltdown. But this dude, right, who claimed out of his own mouth, him and Fury were the two best heavyweights. And it's easy. When the best want to fight, it's easy to make the fight, right? All those excuses. And even at the end of that fight, when Fury went over there to shake his hand and give him props on the, hey man, good fight or whatever. I don't respect you. I don't respect you. But you want to talk about unsportsmanlike conduct. Now, for me personally, I say if you feel like Fury did what you said, I wouldn't have shook his hand and gave him props either. But ain't no way in hell I'd have stood there thinking this man had something in his gloves and not said anything. Yeah. Excuses. So now, as of right now, you hear this man saying Deontay's not the same because he cheated. You guys know you can go on my archives. I already talked about this. I said this is the excuse they're going to make. Fury cheated and Deontay's not the same due to that. But all this, he makes up for his lack of this and that with his heart and determination. And his heart and determination and his right hand can match any fight in the division. Blah, blah, blah. Already making excuses in case he lose.
With that being said, this version of Deontay Wilder could still end up getting big wins because Wilder still has the most dangerous punch in the heavyweight division when it comes to that right hand. And even if Deontay Wilder got an Usyk fight, which he most likely wouldn't get because Usyk said he's going to retire if he doesn't get the Tyson Fury fight, and I believe him. But let's just say Deontay Wilder did get the fight, he definitely has a chance of winning, even though Usyk is way more skilled than Wilder is, just like the majority of Wilder's previous opponents were. But even with being more skilled than Wilder, you have to avoid getting hit with that right hand.
You're admitting that his previous opponents were more skilled. Are you only talking about Fury and Ortiz? Because he was being outskilled by C-class fighters as well. But you still see the nurturing of the baby shit that they're doing. All right, I think we've seen enough with this video. Let me see if I can find this training video so I can put it where you guys can see it as well. Okay, so this is the training video.
The heavyweight division's, exciting when everything.
Okay, so that really wasn't much to see. and I was asked about that video. I hadn't saw. I mean, he's just training. I don't see anything different in these videos. I told you the same thing when I seen AJ training with people where he looked good. He looked. It's like I can't go by a training video. I mean, you can notice certain things, like if a guy looks sharper, he looks faster, um, things like that. And for me, it mostly would have to be sparring. But hitting mitts, hitting the bag, hitting the speed bag, the middle bag, that type of stuff, and jumping rope, and you like I said, you can notice certain things. But in terms of how the fight's going to play out, I don't see anything different. Um, yeah, I don't see anything different. I mean, unless there's a different video, because I know that they people say things like they'll title a video "Explosive Combinations." Oh, you know what I mean. Look, let's not forget something. When we saw Anthony Joshua, and they were like, Anthony Joshua hitting the bag like crushing blows. Yeah, those punches were hard as shit. But like I told you guys, yeah, well, he's hitting a bag. He's hitting, padding. He's not. He's hitting a stationary target. So yeah, you can hear the impact and see like, but like I said, even the way he was throwing those punches, like that shit is not going to land on Usyk like that. That you know, yeah. Usyk's not going to stand there and just wait for the shot to come. Usyk's not going to be there, and he's going to have to throw his punches much quicker than what he's throwing at that bag. That's the type of shit you throw after you hurt a guy and he's like, oh shit, you give him that paralyzed state and he's, yeah, you land that shit then. That's something different because he's not coherent enough to get out the way of the shot. But overall, nah, you know. So I haven't seen. I just saw him hitting mitts. This is what I mean. Like some people get so excited over nothing. Like what? Okay, like is just is that the training video? That video was like 3 minutes or something. The person said 2 minutes and so I don't think I'll see anything different in any other video. And in the video that I did see that was 2 minutes and something, if that's a new video, it looks like the same old Wilder to me. So I can't go by these training videos. That's why, when people say, they'll ask me, did I see this and what do I think about it? I can give you my opinion. But overall, I mean, you guys just saw it. Like, what was special about what you just saw? Like, just a guy hitting some hitting mitts. I didn't see any exceptional hand speed. I didn't see any increased power. Um, Look, Deontay is a flat-footed, lean back, wait for the shot. He's not I'm coming at you. I'm going. And when he does, because if you watch his tech, he has no real technique. Hellenius is a guy, and that's who he's supposed to be coming back against. Hellenius is a guy. He is there to be hit. He's not fast. He does have power. He's tall. I'm not going to knock this comeback fight simply because this is what Wilder does. Like I said, he's not going to shoot for the top guys. You do not hear Wilder making noise about fighting a top guy. And you just heard, what was said previous in this video that, Usyk is saying if he doesn't get the Fury fight that he's going to retire. Okay. If Usyk doesn't get the Fury fight, okay, if he does get it, by the time I don't know the date, I haven't heard a date on Wilder and Hellenius, but let's just say if he wins that fight, he gets the fight, and they people contact Usyk and say from Wilder's side and say, look, man, we really want this fight, man. We just beat Hellenius. You beat Fury, or you're going to fight for however you're going to fight Fury. If you do win, we really want to make this fight. Let's just say Usyk has interest in making that fight happen. Okay, let's say Usyk beats Wilder. It's going to be the same excuse, which doesn't matter because opinions are opinions, and lies are lies. Truth is truth. He beats him. You already know the fanboys already making excuses. Wilder's not the same. Anthony Joshua beats him. Wilder's not anybody. It's because Fury cheated in the second. I told in the first and second fight. I already told you guys that was going to be the go-to excuse. That they cheated and he's not the same fighter due to Fury cheating. So it does not matter. But those excuses doesn't taint and take away from a person's victory. The issue with that is, the only thing about that is we do social media, we do content, we create content, and all over YouTube, that's what you're going to see. And these casual fanboys and girls that come in, this is the type of bullshit that they're exposed to. So they believe shit that they hear. You know, and then so they'll go around, even for people who didn't see the fight, don't even know what happened. Oh yeah, I heard that guy cheated. And so this is the narrative that they will have based on people making up excuses. You know, yet, you know, you don't hear Anthony Joshua making no excuses up. So the guy had a meltdown. Okay. Mike Tyson bit off Evander Holyfield's ear because he was getting his ass whooped. And Mike Tyson fanboys, oh, he kept headbutting it. I sat there and watched the fight with people. Show me the headbutts. Show me. Mike Tyson was the one causing the headbutts because Holyfield does this shit. This is that old school, tuck your chin when you come in and you throw the overhand or, you know, you counter so in case a shot come, they don't catch your chin up in the air. Okay, that's what that was. And I remember, you can go watch the fight yourself for those who don't remember. Mike Tyson bit him. Oh, he headbutted me. Mills Lane looked at Mike Tyson and said, bullshit. Mike Tyson was the one causing the headbutts. No, Holyfield's doing this, but Holyfield's not. A headbutt is what Victor Ortiz did. Or when Mike Tyson tried to do, was it Quick Tillis or Razor Ruddock, where he took his head and literally, no, Mike Tyson, of all people, was one of the dirtiest fights. As great as he was, stop it. We seen Mike hit people low, shoulder people, you know what I'm saying, all types of shit. He hit Razor Ruddock low, then started smiling, shaking his head like, yeah. Bit the man ear twice, then was pointing at it like it's funny, right? You understand? So compare his meltdown to Anthony Joshua's meltdown. But because it's the beloved Mike Tyson, it still wasn't wrong. He can do no wrong. But yet, he apologized. So why would you apologize for something if you wasn't wrong? So it's just one of those things, man. You know, all this nonsense. So, you know, what I would like, how about this? Let me put this out there. Since Anthony Joshua is a big bloke, he's overrated. Oh, he can't beat Deontay Wilder. Well, if this guy already said, okay, and Deontay was only responding to a question when the guys, to a comment that was made, which was, I would like to see you fight Usyk. Yeah, me too. If you already got word that this guy's going to retire if he doesn't get the Fury fight, sounds to me like, okay, well, even if he does get it, then that will probably just be his last fight. Because if that's the case, if I don't get the Fury fight, then I'll fight someone else. You understand what I'm saying? So if it is going to take me to get the Fury fight, to continue the fight makes no sense. So in other words, with or without Fury, that would be his last fight. It's just that this will be my last fight. So there's no need to even bring up Usyk and Wilder then. So if Usyk is not available, what do you want, a fourth fight with Fury? And it's funny because Wilder's talking like that shit never happened. Like he's some undefeated guy. I bring the excitement. Okay, look, then find it in you. Since you want the top fights, and since AJ has been dodging and avoiding, and you just said they tried to lock you in because they knew he was going to lose to Usyk, why don't you want the AJ fight? Yet you're saying he's the one dodging the big fights, but you're the one. And we already heard you admit that you turned the fight down. But here we are again. Forget Usyk. You coming off of a loss, right? If you beat Helenius, then what's next? You going to fight Adam Kalnaki? You know what's after that? You still haven't fought Dillian White. How about fight the winner of Joseph Parker, Joe Joyce? How you understand what I'm saying? Like, what does he want to do? And beating Helenius does not warrant you to get a title shot. Here's the deal, people. If Tyson Fury wins against Usyk, he'll probably actually retire. Because I don't think he wants to fight Anthony Joshua. But if he really wanted to fight Anthony Joshua, like I said, that's still a huge fight. And that's one of the fights, too, that people wanted to see that never happened. So telling us because you beat Usyk and he didn't, that automatically means you beat him, no. So if Usyk wins and retires, then that means all the belts are up for grabs again. You understand what I mean? You still got the Daniel Dubois out there. You know, you got the I really want to see Frank Sanchez in a position to challenge for these titles against someone worthy. So at the end of the day, my point is too, sounds to me, no matter who wins between Fury and Usyk, if the fight happens, there's no more undisputed after that. And we're going to just have guys claiming belts and talking shit, but not willing to get in there and fight for unification, to fight for undisputed all over again. That's what it sounds like to me. But win, lose, or draw, you know, there's fights that need to be made. And when you have a division where you might have one guy who legitimately is defending and honoring that title, bringing prestige to it, versus other guys who's holding on to the titles, but they're not fighting the guys that they need to. And the way these sanctioning bodies are rigged up, the ranking systems, it to me, it's just like you're gonna go through an era of, well, you know what? Even though this guy is not that good, you know, he has a country behind him, or that type of shit, or, you know, oh, he has a nice social media following. And for the person that made a comment too about, you know, you're entitled to your opinion, but I just want to bring something to your attention, okay? Because here's a person who I know is a casual. The person saw John Ruiz fight and said it goes to show you how atrocious the 90s era was. For the simple fact, John Ruiz was a world champion. He wouldn't survive this era of heavyweights. Let me remind you, Charles Martin was a champion in this era. Trevor Bryan was a champion in this era. Okay? And for the record, John Ruiz didn't dominate nothing. Okay? And when you fight, and that's my point, when you're in a position that, oh, Berman Stavern also was a champion. Okay? And when you're in a position where you fight for a vacant title, or you're handed a belt, or you're in a position where you fight a guy who's washed up that found himself in a position with the title, or is winding out at the end of his reign, you're going to add different combinations of things that can happen that can allow someone to be in position to get a title. You know, nobody ever ranked John Ruiz high. The quiet man, they called him. Just like nobody ranked Charles Martin high. But it's funny because when Charles Martin was talking about fighting Deontay Wilder, all of a sudden all of the people that shot him down when he lost to Anthony Joshua, somehow started saying that, oh, all of a sudden Charles Martin got better as a fighter. Man, the dude lost to Adam Kaunaki. And I'm like, how did he get better? What did he show? And the dude was coming off of a damn loss on top of that himself. And then he comes in there and he fights Luis Ortiz. He's beating Luis Ortiz. And that's the one thing that we never seen Wilder do, was in there winning rounds against Ortiz. He was losing those rounds. And of course, the right hand. You know? But all of a sudden now he got better based on what? You guys are pathetic with these excuses, man. So, yeah, listen. We'll know what's going to happen come fight night. So now we know that it's Helenius versus Deontay Wilder. Cool. Let's just see how he moves from there. And these guys are already scared that he may possibly lose. That's why they talking this shit about he's already damaged. And you knew that was going to happen. So, listen, y'all. You know, sometimes you got to show things to remind people, because people say things and they lie. Sometimes you have to, reiterate certain things because, false narratives and lies. It's sad that it exists in life, but they're there. And there's a lot of people who don't understand, what's going on, what they're talking about, who they're talking about, and they don't even realize who they're talking to. You have people that have no experience in any of these areas. They just basically repeating things, and they think that they have knowledge because they heard something that sounds good to them, and they're repeating it like they're teaching you something. And it's like, who the fuck you talking to? Do you think you know more than the people that you're talking to? Do you not even understand that you're just repeating? You're just a messenger. You're not dropping any jewels on anybody. Like, what do you think you're talking about? So here we go. Robert Helenius versus Deontay Wilder. I, for one, still want to see Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. And you know what they both have in common? Neither one of them are the same fighter, right? And this is what the fanboys are saying and what the fans are saying. They're not the same as they used to be. Okay, cool. So now AJ has the same excuse as you. Oh, I'm not the same. My confidence is not. I was damaged by Andy Ruiz. You was damaged by Fury, right? So let the two damaged guys go in there and see who can out damage the other then. Because that's the fight that still needs to happen, right? And ask yourselves, why does Deontay have so much to say about AJ? Yet he won't fight him. Forget about Dillian White right now. You beat Helenius, fight AJ. Why not? Like what? And that's questions people won't say, Deontay. You don't seem to have any interest in fighting Anthony Joshua anymore. He never showed interest in fighting Anthony Joshua. But he always has, if out of every heavyweight, and tell me this is not facts. Out of every heavyweight in the division, Deontay Wilder has the most to say about AJ, and it's always negative. Am I right? I know. Always. It's always Anthony Joshua. There's no interest in fighting him. There's no talks of I want to fight him. It's always they lie, they say things, and then, put false information out there. He's been protected and he's lying but he's never saying, I want the fight. It's not about if they want to fight me. Well, I don't care. It's up to the promoter. No. Do you want the fight? He never says he wants to fight Anthony Joshua. Now, tell me I'm lying. But he always has nothing but negative things to say. He's talking about him losing and having meltdowns. And this motherfucker lost and had the worst meltdown in boxing history. Okay? I've never seen no shit in my fucking life like Glovegate. Cryptic videos about you put an egg waiting in at my head and you did this to me and all. You had all this crazy shit and this shit went on for like 2 fucking years. This man had the worst meltdown in history. Mike Tyson, I gotta put it a strong number 2 because Mike, same thing. Biting people, bit Lennox Lewis on the left. The fuck is you always biting people for? Like crazy shit. Remember the other meltdown he even had with the fucking punk ass white boy? I'll fuck you until you love me, you fucking punk. And what are you telling the man you want to fuck him for? What crazy shit that was coming out of Mike Tyson's mouth. Yet Anthony Joshua shows frustration, throws the belts out the ring, gets pissed, walks off, then he comes back. He congratulates Usyk, gives him his props, and basically, he was mad, he was frustrated, he was hurt, and then yet you got all this to say, and after Glovegate, you of all people talking shit. Anyway, tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.